Well, we're only a couple of 100 yards away, Mark, from the shore of the Indian Ocean. It really is one of the most picturesque places that the World Cup will be played in this summer. And the Moses Mahiba Stadium as well is pretty impressive too, with its Wembley-like arch going from right to left as we look at it, and an open end of the stadium which does afford us a decent view of the high-rise buildings of downtown Durban. It's been very warm here today, just one or two clouds in the sky now, but still pretty sunny here, and a lot of anticipation about just how good this Spanish side might be. 33 wins in 34 internationals tells you just how dominant they have been in worldwide terms over the last 2 or 3 years. Today, Barcelona and Real Madrid provide 9 of the starting 11, and even with Torres and Fabregas unavailable today, are certainly available to come off the bench, it's still a very, very strong-looking Spanish side. The goalkeeper is Iker Casillas, the defenders Sergio Ramos, Gerard Piqué, Carlos Puyol and Joan Capdevila, then Sergio Busquets, Xabi Alonso and Xavi, with Andres Iniesta, David Silva and David Villa completing the very impressive and strong-looking Spanish team. You can hear the vuvuzelas droning in the background. Spain in red shirts, blue shorts and red socks. It will be Switzerland in their white shirts, red shorts and white socks to get us underway here in this game. And we have Premier League representation with the officials today. Howard Webb is the referee, assisted by Darren Cann and Mike Malarkey. So a very big day for our English officials here in the World Cup in South Africa. The Switzerland side is Benalio in goal, then 4 at the back, Lichtsteiner, Senderos, Grichting and Ziegler, then 5 in midfield we think, and Kufo, Huggle, Inler, Fernandes and Barnetta, with big Aaron Derdiok, the lone striker, up front, as it's pretty much damage limitation for Otmar Hitzfeld to kick off in the group. 4 European Cup wins between the two coaches, Del Bosque and Hitzfeld. Lots and lots of attacking talents on show, and Chris, you've been looking forward to seeing this Spanish side in the flesh.
Well, the team of this era for me, they've been absolutely outstanding the last 4 years, and just the style of football, you know, people who love lovely, attractive football, they've got everything, haven't they? They pass everyone, technically he's very good. Alright, Poyle's not the best at times, Puel at the back, he does give it away, but apart from him, everybody is very comfortable in possession, and it's just, I'm always interested how teams play against them. Do you go and press them out the field? Do you drop off? And in a minute, nobody can get it right.
Here's David Villa, first touch in the tournament for the recent acquisition for Barcelona, and then cleared away down the right-hand side by the right-back, Lichtsteiner. It does look in the early stages that Hitzfeld might have gone for a 4-4-2 because and Kufo is trying to join in with Derdiok whenever Switzerland have got the ball. Spain coming forward down the right-hand side with the Alice banded Sergio Ramos, linked in the newspapers with a move to Chelsea today, and then out towards the far side, the left back for Spain, and Capdevila, picked up now by Iniesta, just inside the Switzerland half, and already we're seeing this very comfortable possession from the European champions and favourites to win this World Cup in South Africa. Here's Xavi, and then Xavi to Xabi Alonso, and then out towards the left-hand side in Capdevila again, and already Spain look as though they can keep the ball for as long as they want to. Capdevila with a cross into the penalty area. That was very un-Spain-like in the opening 2 minutes of this match, and finally Switzerland get a touch again.
Well, the only thing I'm going to say is the 3 midfield players, Xavi, Busquets and Xabi Alonso, they like to be attracted to the ball down in the centre circle, and I'm just wondering if there's a lot to ask for Iniesta and David Silva to join Villa, because everybody's attracting the ball, and sometimes you just need one of them to say, I'm not interested in this build-up, I'm going to join Villa, I'm going to get in on one of these through balls. At the minute, Villa's getting isolated, even though it's early in the game.
So 0-0, 2 minutes played here on 5 Live from the BBC in Durban for Spain against Switzerland. Earlier on today, Chile finally got a victory in the World Cup Finals tournament. It's been a long time since they managed that. They beat Honduras by 1-0. And after this match, there's great anticipation, of course, in South Africa, because the host nation, Bafana, will play their second Group A match in Pretoria against Uruguay. And, of course, you'll hear it here on your World Cup station, 5 Live. All 64 games live from the ground. You won't get that kind of service anywhere else. Here comes Spain, inside the Switzerland half. It's with Villa, and then towards Busquets inside the centre circle. He wriggles away from Nkufo, and then there was a very hefty challenge on Sergio Busquets by Grichting, the central defender, and Howard Webb, I don't think he's going to book him, but he could have done for that, Chris. That was a lunge. It was not a very nice tackle at all.
He was just too quick for getting in. Howard Webb, I think, sensible early in the game, few nerves. He's just said, look, here's your one chance.
So Spain have got this free kick. The makers of this Javelani ball have defended it so far, but we'll see if a free kick from this kind of range can be guided and directed and controlled by Xavi. If Xavi can't deliver quality with this ball, nobody can. So the key man in this Spain midfield will take it. Xavi's ball into the penalty area, headed away by Senderos, and then cleared away from the edge of the penalty area by the former Tottenham man Reto Ziegler. Spain have got the ball again on the left hand side with Iniesta. He'll have his own personal battle with Xavi again to see who can touch the ball the most times in the Spanish midfield during the match. Here's Ramos midway inside the Switzerland half on the right, and then Xavi back into the centre circle, and Busquets, and then out towards the left hand side, and the left back Capdevila. Spain very keen just to keep the possession, play their patient football, and now Piqué will stride forward out towards Ramos again on the right, then down the line it goes towards David Silva, and then back to Xabi Alonso, out to David Silva again, right edge of the penalty area. Silva teases the defender. The block is made by Grischting on the edge of the penalty area, and then Ramos commits a foul on the former Manchester City player Gelson Fernandez, and it's going to be a free kick to Switzerland just outside their own penalty area. 19th meeting between these sides. Spain have never been beaten by Switzerland. Switzerland have lost to the likes of Costa Rica, Norway and Uruguay in the build-up to this. Spain reeled off 11 straight wins after losing in the semi-final of the Confederations Cup. Polar opposites with these two sides, and Spain have started pretty impressively, Chris.
Well, that's it. It's just going to be a counter-attack or a set piece for Switzerland. Already they've set the stall out. They're very well disciplined. They've obviously been working on closing people down, getting tight. The great thing with Spain is, you see a lot of teams who can keep the ball reasonably pass. But what Spain's very good at, they can change pace very quickly. It's sort of slow, and they've gone. And that's a secret. It looks easy, but it's hard to do.
Capdevila, left-hand side. One of only two players in this starting 11 that doesn't play for either Barcelona or Real Madrid. He's at Villarreal. Here's one of the Real Madrid players, Ramos, who's already playing like an outside right in this Spain team. Iniesta out towards the left. There was a doubt over his fitness with the thigh, but he's able to play today, and he's got the ball, central position, midway inside the Switzerland half. Out towards Ramos again on the right, into Iniesta, and here's this ticker-tacker, as they call it, pass that Spain like to do.
I tell you what, there's 10 passes a goal, it'll be about 7-0 up.
Here's Xavi. He was caught recklessly on the far side by Inler. I wondered how long it might take Inler to make that kind of tackle, to try and make his presence felt in this match, because I don't think he's going to see the ball an awful lot.
No, he's a good player. Had a very good Euros actually. Inler, I was very impressed when he plays in Italy, and I thought somebody might have had a look at him, and he's still playing in Italy, and he does a good job in that centre midfield.
Iniesta to Xabi Alonso inside the centre circle. Red shirts and blue shorts for Spain. David Silva's now switched across to the left-hand side, having popped up on the right in Spain's previous attack. Xavi midway inside the Switzerland half, and then Xabi Alonso to the edge of the penalty area to Iniesta, promising for Spain, might fall for Villa. It's stabbed away by the Switzerland defence, and we can go racing to Royal Ascot, day 2, the Windsor Forest Stakes, and here's John Hunt.
Thank you, Darren. They're making their way towards the halfway stage here. Wide open race this for some classy fillies, and Strawberry Daiquiri, sent off just favourite, has the lead. She's the one to catch, passing halfway, with Pyrrha in second place, last year's winner. Spacious is in third. Super Sleuth is coming under heavy pressure in behind. Antara, that's Frankie Dettori's mount, but Frankie now driving along as well. In behind those, Chamois Lodge for France. Sapresa is beginning to try and pick her way through the field, and the Queen's runner Golden Stream is trying to mount a challenge as well. Alsace-Lorraine with plenty to do from there, and Strawberry Daiquiri now being joined by last year's winner Spacious, and these two open up a little bit now over Antara in third. Final furlong now, nothing in it here. Strawberry Daiquiri and Spacious, they're having a tremendous set to these two. They're on now from Antara in third. Alsace-Lorraine, still you can't split them. Spacious and Strawberry Daiquiri. Strawberry Daiquiri's grey head sticks out. Spacious goes with her all the way to the line. It's a very, very tight photo finish there. Strawberry Daiquiri and Spacious. Antara was third. In behind those, Alsace-Lorraine, and the Queen's runner Golden Stream only fifth. So Darren, it's a photo finish here. It's very tight. If I had to say one, I'd perhaps say Strawberry Daiquiri might have got there, but we'll confirm that result a little bit later. Meanwhile, Darren, back to you in Durban.
Thanks, John. I think the Strawberry Daiquiri might go down quite well with the commentary team here in Durban. Still 0-0. I don't think, while John Hunt was commentating, Switzerland touched the ball, did they, Chris?
No, I'd love to see the possession already, mate. It's got to be 90-10. It's just unbelievable. All right, they're going to say, people are going to say, the people who don't believe in, it's nice football, but they haven't had a shot. They haven't made the goalie work, rightly so, but They're controlling the game. It's just a matter of time.
I don't think this one's going to be a photo finish. I've just got that feeling in my bones. They're hardly touching the ball, Switzerland. Spain are in complete control. They've got it now, though. Inside their own half with Gelson Fernandes. And then the right back, Lichtsteiner, can come forward over the halfway line and poke it out towards Barnetta on the right. His cross is blocked over there by Capdevere. It's a corner to Switzerland, and they've got some tall players, some strong players in the team, and you feel already at this stage of the match, Chris, this is probably their best opportunity.
This is what it's going to be. Now, are they working on the training ground, or is anybody going to get blocked off? You know, you're obviously looking at Senderos as the biggest guy going up there, who's going to pick him up, and you'd like to think they've worked on something, because, as you say, this is a great opportunity for them to score against Spain, because in general play, they haven't had a kick.
Well, Tranquillo Barnetta of Bayer Leverkusen has gone across to take this Swiss corner from the right-hand side. It's whipped into the centre, headed away by Xabi Alonso, and then picked up just outside the box by Ziegler, but they've lost it. And now David Villa's got the ball on the left-hand side, and he's over the halfway line. Infield to Silva, back towards Villa. Villa can run down the left for Spain. They're arriving in the centre. Villa into the penalty area. Little step over, gets to the edge of the 6-yard box, and quickly off his line was Benaglio to smother, but they countered very, very quickly there, Spain.
Well, Inlet give it away. Inlet give the ball away far too easy. What a break there. Terrific pace by Villa. Little step over, gets the better of the defender, but just overruns it. What a terrific run by Ramos down this right-hand side. All of 100 yards.
So Spain 0, Switzerland 0. John Hunt's got the result of that photo finish at Royal Ascot. John.
Strawberry Daiquiri's all round here, Darren. She's won all right by a short head. She was 9-2, just outpointing Spacious at 13-2. Third home was Antara, the 7-2 favourite. And Darren, that's 2 out of 2 then today for Ryan Moore, and he rides Glass Harmonian in our next race, the Prince of Wales Stakes.
Make mine a large Strawberry Daiquiri, John, and make sure you put those little umbrellas in as well. So 0-0 here. Strawberry Daiquiri winning the Windsor Forest Stakes by a short head at Royal Ascot, and Spain dominating possession, in possession of the football as we speak on the left-hand side with Capdevere. Little ball infield towards Xabi Alonso. So much flexibility in this Spain team. All of them seem to be able to play in a variety of positions, very similar to that Total Football Dutch team of the 70s that everybody marvelled at. We've got the modern-day version here, and a lot of people think they can do even better than that side and win at this FIFA World Cup. They've given the ball away now, though, have Spain, and it's forward by Lichtsteiner, the right back, up towards Nkufo, easily cut out by Busquets, and his Barcelona teammate Carlos Puyol plays it back to Iker Casillas, and then back out towards Gerard Piqué on the right-hand side for Spain.
They just look, for me, they're just lacking a little cutting edge up front. Villa had one run which was terrific, he just overrun the ball, but I'm looking a little more for Iniesta and Silva here to try and get in the game a bit more. They're coming too deep, and when they're getting one-on-one, you just want to see a little bit more positive and go at them.
Spain in possession on the left-hand side with Capdevere. Infield it goes now to Xavi, and then across the centre line to Busquets, and then out towards Sergio Ramos on this right-hand side. I don't think Ramos has actually gone back into his own half yet, the right back. He's taken up station midway inside the Swiss half on the right, and that's where he's playing from. Here's David Silva of Valencia, left edge of the penalty area. Capdevere on the overlap, crossed into the middle, and that'll be controlled by Inler, and then Barnetta will lose possession on the far side, the Spain left, as they play from left to right in this first half, and Xabi Alonso has won it back for the European champions. Now here's Xavi, out towards Capdevere, who stayed forward on the left-hand side, rolled back again to Xabi Alonso, and then he sends the crossfield pass straight as an arrow onto the outside of the right foot of Sergio Ramos, floated into the box, headed down, Xavi's offside, and it'll be a free kick inside the penalty area to Switzerland.
Good football, it's great on the eye, again, no end product unfortunately, but this time a little bit better. I'd just like to see Ramos at times as well. He's got terrific pace and power. Go, give it and go, 1-2, 1-2. He's not trying to get at this fullback, because, let's be honest, he's not the best fullback in the world. He's a winger.
Explain something to me. Spain have won 33 of 34 internationals, including the European Championships, and they're ranked second in the world behind Brazil. How does that work?
I don't look at the rankings, Darren, I'm sorry, but there's no disrespect. My local pub could get in the top 100, so I never look at it. If you play in certain areas of the world, my pub team could get in there, so not a problem. Don't look at it.
Dirdiok tried to bustle his way through. Ball came awkwardly off his foot, and it's gone through to Casillas, the goalkeeper. FIFA have got the knack of getting things wrong. I think if this is the second best team in world football, then on a points basis, then it's got to be looked at. 0-0, and we've played 13 minutes here in Durban, and Spain have had the possession of the ball for about 12 and a half minutes of the 13 that we've had up to now, and they've got it again with Gerard Piqué, who's really grown in stature in the past 12 months at Barcelona. The move from Manchester United has done him good, first choice in the Spanish national team and for Barcelona as well. And it's the central defensive club pair from the new camp that Vicente Del Bosque has selected here in this Group H opener for Spain. Free kick to them, midway inside the Swiss half. It's taken by Busquets and then played short to Xavi. Out towards the left-hand side of Iniesta. And then back it goes for Xavi Alonso. Forward by him to Busquets. Laid off towards Xavi. Didn't direct the pass. Intercepted by Hugel. And then played up towards the halfway line, and Derdiok, who doesn't control it. And I'm afraid when he's seeing as little of the ball as Switzerland are, you've got to make it stick in that kind of situation. Now here comes Xavi for Spain. Out towards the left-hand side in Iniesta. They've got three waiting for a cross in the middle. Iniesta takes on Lichtsteiner. Still Iniesta inside the box. He'll roll it back to the angle of the penalty area to Capdevila. Then back to Iniesta once more. Into the penalty area to Silva. He can turn. Takes on Senderos, and he's gone down. Might have had his ankles caught there by Senderos. He looks at Howard Webb, who says play on, and Switzerland come away with it down the right.
Well, Switzerland, unfortunately, down when they do get the ball. He had a claim for a penalty there. No, we've got a benefit of replay. Look, he's tripped them up.
Yep.
It's a penalty.
Yeah.
And Howard Webb's 5 yards away, by the way. He should have blew on that. But trouble with Switzerland is when they do win it, they've got to concentrate. They're just playing on memory at the minute. They're just trying to take the ball off Spain when they can. But when they get it, they give it away. They don't look after it.
Spain have got it again with Ramos on the right-hand side. I agree with Chris. When you see the replay of that challenge by Senderos on David Silva, I think that should have been a penalty to Spain. They've got away with one, really, Switzerland there. Howard Webb was in a good position but didn't give it. Forward comes Spain down the left with Iniesta to Silva, and then back to Capdevila. Forward by Capdevila to Xavi, and then the challenge comes in from Inler. Can't get the ball back. Spain have switched it from left to right, and Ramos. And then back to Xavi Alonso on the halfway line. Forward by him towards Iniesta. Challenge comes in from Senderos, the recent acquisition for Fulham. But it's only a case of partially clearing before Spain come again. Silva doesn't control it on the left-hand side. It's rolled under his boot, and it's gone out for a throw into Switzerland, level with the edge of their own penalty area. Well,
at the minute, we've talked about how they're dominating position. They're not working the keeper, and that'll be a concern to the manager, Del Bosque. He'll be looking at it and thinking, hey, I'll give it a little bit, maybe second off. We don't score here, and you've got to say that Silva's not doing a lot at the minute. Iniesta's not been in the game enough, and he will be looking at people like Pedro, who's very direct, very pacey. Because they didn't, I just wonder, Switzerland, it needs a goalless game for Spain, because then it might bring Switzerland out, which I don't think it will.
Chile 1, Honduras 0 in the early game in the World Cup today. 7:30 live from Pretoria. You'll hear it on 5 Live. South Africa versus Uruguay. 0-0 here. Spain in possession. And they're coming forward down the left-hand side with their left-back Capdevila. A little ball in towards Silva. Edge of the penalty area. Drilled across goal. Not the best of balls in by David Silva. And comfortable for the goalkeeper, Benaglio.
Wrong choice. Worth an effort. The angle he's at, it's a different angle. He's not going to beat the goal. If you look at David Villa, he's pulled off the centre-half into the far post. If he clips it, it's an easy chance for Villa, but he just decided to shoot.
This is Spain's 50th match in the World Cup finals today. They've played in more games than any other team in the history of the tournament without actually winning it. A lot of people feel this could be their year. Won the European Championship so impressively a couple of seasons ago in Switzerland and Austria, and since then they've been a virtually unstoppable footballing juggernaut. There's a foul surely by Senderos on the edge of the penalty area, which is not given by Howard Webb on David Villa. Letting quite a bit go so far is the Premier League official Howard Webb. Forward by Piqué, and Ramos is in behind the defence down the right for Spain. Ramos cuts back infield, into the penalty area, left foot shot, which scatters a few cameras behind Benaglio's goal. And again, he had players to pick out in the middle, and he went for glory himself, Chris Waddle.
I can't believe what he's done there. They've had players in the middle, and I've been looking for this run, and he's actually done it now. He's actually decided to go behind the full-back. He's in. He's just got to hit it. If you want to put up a pace, just hit it hard and low. Does everything right. What was he thinking of shooting from that angle?
Cloudy skies now. Here in Durban, we can see the high-rise buildings downtown through the gap away to our right-hand side. It's a very neatly designed stadium, this one here, with the arch running across the top from right to left, and a cable car will actually go right the way across this stadium. Not, of course, in operation during the match, but it would be a decent place to watch, I'm sure, with the bird's-eye view of this Spain versus Switzerland game. 0-0 with 18 minutes played on 5 Live. The very best coverage of the 2010 World Cup here in South Africa. We've got the Mexican wave around the stadium now, and a rare spell of possession for Switzerland in their white shirts as they come forward down the right. Crossed in there by Lichtsteiner, flicked away by Piqué. Even the even the defending has a bit of style, doesn't it, the way Spain do it. Just flicked away with his heel, and now it's gone out for a throw into Spain on the left-hand side.
Well, Spain have just dominated. But as you say, the Swiss have worked hard on their system. You've got to say they've got it right so far. For all they've never had a kick, they've restricted Spain to playing a lot of nice balls, little give and goes in midfield, but in the final third, Spain haven't done anything any dangerous.
Spain went out in the second round in Germany 4 years ago without conceding a goal, and lost on penalties to Ukraine after an impressive defensive showing, and they won the Under-17 World Cup last year, so they've got a few decent young players coming through. Whether there's going to be what you might call a golden generation for Switzerland with regard to what they can do in the future, but it's all about the present, and they've got a very difficult task on their hands here to try and stop a Spain side who are seeing so much of the ball in the opening 18 and a half minutes, and had there been some better decision making in and around the penalty area, they might already be ahead. Xavi Alonso battling with Inler on the halfway line. It's hooked into the Spain half, where Gelson Fernandez finds Dirty Ock, and then it's out towards Ziegler on the left-hand side, up towards Fernandez again. He's just been caught there by Sergio Ramos, and it's going to be a free kick on the halfway line to the Swiss.
I tell you what though, Darren, people they'll look at Spain and how they play, but I tell you what, when they haven't got the ball, they work very hard to get it back. They have very high tempo. Look at the pressing all over straight away.
Sepp Blatter is here today inside the stadium watching this. Spain 0, Switzerland 0, and the ball is back with Diego Benaglio, who'll be coached by Steve McLaren at Wolfsburg next season. Plays it out to Senderos, and then back to the Swiss goalkeeper, who clears over the halfway line. Puyol gets his head to the ball, and Cap de Vere returns it back into the Swiss half, and Senderos just cushions it off the back of his head through to his goalkeeper. There's not been quite the cutting edge from Spain that you would have liked to have seen so far.
Midfield has been excellent to watch, but everybody's attracted to the ball. There's only Villa who wants to run in behind, and I think one of these, especially Iniesta and Silva, and even the fullbacks, they've got to force it sometimes. They're playing in front of Switzerland all the time. Nice to watch, but not going anywhere.
Of course, as the tournament progresses, Fernando Torres will come back into this Spain side and will be a partner for David Villa, which will ever so slightly change the shape of the Spain team and give them that little bit more in the final third. At the moment, though, 0-0 with Torres and Fabregas both on the bench for Spain today. Villa tackled on the edge of the penalty area. Ball breaks then towards Barnetta, who pokes it forward towards Huggle. That's intercepted by Cap de Vere, and Iniesta can bring it forward for Spain. Little ball through towards Xavi, who turns, slid away by Grishting from just outside the D, picked up now by Xabi Alonso, fed out to Sergio Ramos. He crosses in towards the penalty area, might fall in there for Villa, who was cleared away by Lichtsteiner. As far as Cap de Vere on the left-hand side. Square pass towards Iniesta. Iniesta lines up the shot, hits it off the outside of his boot, and that's claimed pretty comfortably by Diego Benaglio. Chris Waddle.
I think that was a slight deflection off Fernandez, who put his right foot there just as he pulled the trigger. Iniesta, slight deflection. There you go, slowed it down. Easy save for the goalkeeper. Well, as I said, Switzerland will be delighted. They've never been in the game, they've not had any possession, but it's 0-0.
Spain play Honduras next in the group, and then the final match against Chile. Having seen Chile play against Honduras earlier on today, could be an absolutely fantastic spectacle. So 0-0 here, Spain in possession with Sergio Busquets out towards Cap de Vere, then to Iniesta, then back to Cap de Vere again on the halfway line, and then the man who always seems to find space, Xavi. Forward towards Xabi Alonso, couldn't gather it, and it'll roll through to Benaglio. He's got that ability, hasn't he, Xavi? Whoever he plays against, when the ball arrives at his feet, he's got the extra time and the extra space.
And what you got to look at Spain is, and probably we don't do it enough in England, is they're not frightened to pass the people who are marked. They believe in their ability, they believe in their first touch, they can move the ball off the lane, they can change direction very, very easily, and they've just got this great belief in their ability.
Spain in possession, they've got the ball inside the Switzerland half with Xavi. Now Xabi Alonso, a little layoff by David Silva, and then Xavi spots the run of Sergio Ramos on the right hand side. Silva in the penalty area, pulls it square towards David Villa, and hoofed away by Philip Senderos, and out for a throw-in on this left-hand side. He's certainly finding plenty of space down the right, isn't he, Sergio Ramos?
He's just coming on every time he wants. He's got to keep forcing it as well. He's got to keep going. That's where they're getting a lot of joy.
Here's Alonso on the halfway line, and now Piqué with the beard, become his trademark in the last season or so. Forward by Busquets. Xavi inside the Swiss half is firmly challenged by Philip Senderos, and that's a foul. And it's going to be a Spanish free kick midway inside the Swiss half, just slightly to the left of centre. And of course, whenever they've got this kind of situation, there's a whole host of people who want to get involved. It's Xavi at the moment. Cap de Vere is available wide on the left hand side if they want to go that way. I think Howard Webb is just checking on the fitness of Senderos, who seemed to hurt himself in the challenge. In Spain, with the vuvuzelas being blown heartily around this stadium, have this free kick midway inside the Swiss half. Not quite full, 1 or 2 empty seats scattered here and there, but a near enough capacity crowd in this Group H game. Here's Xavi out towards Capdevila on the left. Over goes Lichtsteiner for Switzerland. Back now to Xavi, and then Xabi Alonso. Xabi Alonso out towards the left-hand side in Capdevila again. Level with the edge of the penalty area. To Xavi once more, and then to Xabi Alonso, and then back out to Capdevila. Now they've got 5 in the middle for a cross. It's pulled back towards the penalty spot, and it's headed away by Derdiok as far as Iniesta. Iniesta to Piqué. Piqué away from the defender. Brilliant save by Benaglio. Very similar to the goal he scored against Inter Milan in the Champions League semi-final. This time he's denied by Diego Benaglio. We're just past the midway point here in the first half, and here's David Oates.
Thank you, Darren. It's 0-0. That was the best chance of the game just a few seconds ago. You would think that it is just a matter of time before the Spanish score, but I wonder if Del Bosque, their coach, will be just a little concerned that they haven't created more chances like that.
Great chance there. Great ball by Iniesta. What a fantastic bit of play by the centre-half Piqué, wasn't he? Sold everybody. Fortunately, the finish let him down. It's a good save goal. Give the keeper credit, but he should have scored.
5 live from Durban. Spain 0, Switzerland 0. Here's a rarity. The Swiss have the ball in the Spanish half as well. They have a throw-in which is hurled in, and Kufo can't reach the ball in the air. Spain only half clear, and then it's with Gelson Fernandez on this near side. But the referee, Howard Webb, has provoked a lot of Spanish anger here, because for something I didn't see, I have to say, it might have been a high boot possibly, he has awarded the Swiss a free kick in a dangerous position just outside the penalty area.
Well, I think Howard Webb got that wrong. Inla actually ducked down to head the ball, didn't he? And Xavi, his foot's a little bit high, no risk, and he just plays the ball off Inla. Howard Webb's blue on free kick, and it's a good position for Switzerland, just 5-10 yards outside the box.
And I think it will be Ziegler, the former Tottenham man. He played over 30 matches for Sampdoria, helping them into 4th place. So he's sort of gone up in the world. His career has improved since he left White Hart Lane. He looks very much to be the man who will strike this. And the Swiss haven't had many opportunities, or any opportunities in fact really, in this game, and Ziegler is taking a monumental run up. He's run about 10 yards. Here he comes, he hits it. Casillas maybe saw that late, one bounce though, and he parries it and then collects.
It was a funny one, was it? Got out very quick there, Iniesta to block it, didn't he? I'm not sure it was a slight deflection, but it pitched just in front of Casillas, and he did well just to keep a hold of it. But that's the opportunities they've got to take, Switzerland. It was the corner, the long throw before. I know you'd like to do a bit more in general play, but you can't get the ball off Spain, so they've got to concentrate hard and work on set pieces.
For the most part, this game has resembled attack versus defence, the game that you play when you're a kid, really. I suppose clubs use it as a training exercise as well, because Spain have had all the ball. And here is Ramos again, down this near side, midway inside the Swiss half, plays it in field to Xabi, and then Busquets out to the far side to Capdevila. And there's just one in the box, David Villa, and he waits for the header, but it's easily cleared there by Senderos, and Lichtsteiner is able to hook a little further clear for the Swiss. And actually they have the ball again with Hugel, who puts Lichtsteiner in a little bit of trouble, but then there's a clumsy foul on that far side, and the Swiss have a free kick. It's easy doing Spain, you only have to learn one team really.
What frustrates though with Spain when they do lose it, they go and do silly fouls like that, and you think they're not going anywhere. Switzerland just don't really want the ball. They know what they're going to do. They're trying to pass it, but give Spain credit, when they haven't got it, they work very hard to get it back. And all Switzerland are doing is just clearing the lanes.
The Swiss actually won their qualifying group quite easily. Not a tough group though, and incredibly they managed to lose the first home game to Luxembourg, a Luxembourg side that had just 2 professionals in it. That really does take some doing. I don't think the Luxembourg side had won a qualifying game for about 35 years, but somehow the Swiss did just manage to top the group. They didn't have to go through the rigours of a playoff. Not much happening at the moment. Just down there, the referee, Howard Webb from England, just having a word with Ramos. He's awarded Spain a free kick. We've seen a couple of England flags here in Durban. There's 1 or 2 Scottish saltires. I think there's quite a Scottish contingent in Durban. A few Dutch flags as well. Holland and Japan is in this stadium on Saturday. Darren and I will be back here for that game.
Senderos is since that challenge he did on Iniesta, where the referee had a word with him. He's not recovered from it, and he's obviously come off the pitch now to get some treatment on the side. I think it's his ankle. They put a strap on it, but he doesn't look happy.
Senderos, of course, who has just signed for Fulham on loan at Everton last season, but didn't play too big a part at Goodison Park, really, in the first team. Xabi has it and crosses the halfway line. Here is Alonso. Good ball through, is it to Villa? Can he get goal side? The answer is no, and Silva can't reach it. And now there's an opportunity for Derdiok to come forward, and he is fouled. Just echoing what Chris Waddle said, there was no need to do that.
Well, they've only got 10 men on the pitch at the minute, Switzerland, as well, so, they're not going to be a rush, isn't it? Look, they told the goalkeeper to come, he's walking out, he's waiting. Spain gives too many silly free kicks away.
So Spain looking to create a chance like the one that fell to Piqué. I suspect if that chance had fallen to a striker, they might have put that one away. Piqué himself might have done better. Here comes Ben Aliout, the goalkeeper, to knock the ball long. It was intended for Derdiok, and Kufo tries to run onto the end of it as well, but Spain clear, and they have the ball back again with Xabi. Little touch to this near side to Silva. Silva over the halfway line. Iniesta has broken through. Could be one-on-one. Oh, and then he goes down just inside the D. The linesman is flagging to say, I think, a free kick just outside the box. Iniesta, to me, seemed to go down quite easily then and possibly dive.
I thought Gritchen blocked him off. I've got to say, it was a great little turn, a little Cruyff thing through the back of his heel to change direction. And if you see it, I think he's blocked him off slightly. And the linesman spotted it down on his right-hand side, and he's got himself a yellow card, Gritchen.
Could he not have shot there, do you think? Did he have to come back inside?
I thought he was going. Well, it's on his right foot. It's his favoured right foot. He's definitely onside. Villa's come out. Iniesta's gone in. Now, if you watch this turn, it's just a little flick with the inside of his heel to change direction. There's the arm out and pulls him to the ground. For me, that's a foul.
Well, I can see from Darren Fletcher's reaction, he's not sure. I'm not 100% sure. I've got to be honest. Gritchting it is who has been yellow carded. It was a lovely flick, having said that. But I think Chris thinks he should really have hit it with his right foot. Not been tested, Ben Aliout, other than with that opportunity for Piqué. This is a good chance, though, for the Spanish. It's one of those people say they might be a little too close because it's inside the D. That is about 19 yards out.
For me, I'd be left foot where the goalkeeper's standing, because the goalkeeper's going to try and read it and go over the wall. It looks like Xavi's just going to fly it over the wall. It's hard to get the ball up and down from that angle where he's very close to the 18-yard line.
31 minutes played, 0-0, Spain-Switzerland. In fact, he's going to leave it, and it's hit with force by Villa and off the wall and behind for a corner. The wall did its job.
Well, I think he's hit the place in the right area, definitely where the goalkeeper was standing. He went up power, a couple of claims for handball maybe, but Howard Webb having none of it.
Xabi then to take this corner. The big cross of St George just behind the corner kick taker there. So up steps Xabi, a line of 5 Spaniards, but I think Senderos, who is back on the field, won that ball in the air, and now Kufo. That was a rather curious clearance, and in fact another one from Lichtsteiner. They both just headed the ball directly up above them, and they've given it away now, and that was a late challenge way over on the far side. Iniesta clearly was fouled that time, and I think the referee's going to have another word with one or two of the Swiss players. He was in a sandwich there, and Lichtsteiner was involved once more.
Well, he's saying he didn't touch him, did he? And it's a foul. Sometimes people get this tag, don't they? Ronaldo gets it at times, they go down easy. Sometimes you rate a challenge, because if you stand your ground, you're going to get hurt.
Xabi is over the free kick again. Spain 0, Switzerland 0 on 5 Live. I think we'd hope for goals in this one. Plenty of time yet. Fulham's second half and another 13 minutes. It's taking a while to take this free kick, but Xabi does whip it in. Perhaps an opportunity for Piqué if he can turn. He's about 10 yards out, just to the left of the goal. Holds the ball up well. Can he cross? I tell you what, he got the ball stuck between his legs there. But the referee allows play to continue, and in the end, Switzerland managed to clear. But they'll come straight back at them.
Howard Webb was running around there. There was that many bodies there. It was like a scrum.
Busquets for Spain. Chris Waddle with us, of course, familiar voice to 5 Live listeners. And here is Iniesta for the Spanish. Ramos, and I can only echo what Chris has said, really. Ramos almost playing as a right winger and really should make 1 or 2 more runs beyond the defenders. Made one, wasted it with a ridiculous shot with his wrong foot, really, when he could have crossed. But if he carries on doing that, Spain might have some joy. They haven't had any as yet. We're goalless here, and this is the former Liverpool man, 5 years at Anfield, Xabi Alonso. Not the best pass initially to Busquets, but he gets the ball back, gives it to Capdevila, and then Xabi back to the full-back. The man from Villarreal tries to cross towards the back edge of the penalty area. The Swiss defend it well. That looked like a slightly late Spanish challenge. It's worked out to this near side, and Ziegler just about keeps the ball in play. Ziegler, by the way, at Sampdoria these days. A ball not long. Dirdiot, that's a good header on to Nkufo, but Nkufo is almost immediately stopped in his tracks by Puyol. The Swiss, as you've said, just cannot keep the ball for more than about 3 seconds.
All they've worked on, he was in again. Villa was just on the shoulder. Bad ball by Silva. Well, unlucky, he'd got cut out. They're putting a sub on. Senderos obviously hasn't recovered.
No, the substitute will be Steve von Bergen of Hertha Berlin, and he will be on as soon as we have a break in play. I think I'd be tempted if I was a Swiss player just to knock it out of play. I don't think they can play Spain 11 against 10 as Dirdiot sends the ball back to Gelson Fernandez. Then out to Senderos. He didn't want it because he can hardly walk at the moment, and visibly I think winced there as he just lobbed the ball forwards. Now here's Xabi. Good ball out to the far side. This is Iniesta. He's starting to pose more of a threat. Iniesta, quiet opening 15-20 minutes or so, and the Barcelona man out wide, and then gets the ball out to that far side. Capdevila crosses. Here's a chance for David Villa, and then the ball is Villa was sensible, I think, really knocked the ball back. He intended it to find Silva. It was well defended. Ramos infield to Alonso into the box, and Chris Waddle shouting there because he thought Senderos actually had hold of David Villa.
Oh, he's injured, but he's just basically stood with his arms around him. He wouldn't let him move, and here comes the substitution now. Well, that was a bit better by Spain. They actually put some decent cross in there, some delivery in the final third.
And don't forget, Senderos dislocated his shoulder 4 years ago in Germany, but there's nothing to do with this injury. He's got
he did actually kicking his own player. Einstein had it right back. He slid in, they collided, and he's hurt his ankle.
And Steve von Bergen, as I mentioned before, will be the substitute. Number 5 in the squad list. Winner of a couple of Bundesliga titles, so they're quite experienced, the Swiss players. This hasn't really been the half we'd hoped for, has it so far?
Well, let's be honest, there's only one team came to play football. Switzerland are doing a job, rightly so. They're going to say, look, if we have a goal with 2 up front and have a real go at them, we're not going to get anywhere, and Spain will beat us. So they've come and thought, listen, we can get a point with Spain, we're still in a tournament, we've got a good chance of qualifying.
I think a lot of people think obviously Spain will get stronger, but Darren reeled off the stats even before, about this incredible run that they're on. They just hardly ever lose. Ramos waits for the ball. Again, the referee just having a word with one of the Swiss players as he runs back. Here is Real Madrid's Ramos on this near side, finds his club and country colleague Alonso, but the ball's been given away there by Busquets. That was really sloppy, and Kufo finds Dirdiot. Puyol is there, good covering from the Barcelona man, and then he whips the ball forward. That's a really intelligent pass out to the left flank. Here is Iniesta. Will he pass it? He does pass it forward to Silva. Silva tries to lay it back, and it's put behind for a corner. Good defending from the Swiss, from Grichting, but it's another Spanish corner.
They do miss Torres, there's no doubt about that, because he's a goal scorer, he makes runs behind. He's probably not involved in the build-up as much. The problem they've got, everybody wants to touch the ball here in Spain.
They take the corner back to Iniesta, who crosses at Ramos with the header, but Puyol can't reach it. Runs through to Benalio, and Switzerland survive once more. 8 minutes to half-time. It's 0-0. Think Spain will score before the break?
Well, you wouldn't bet against them. They've shown tremendous quality around the park, but as I say, it's all about the final third, and let's be honest, the goalkeepers had nothing to do.
Well, we're told on the official team sheets, they put a little mark to tell you whether players are injured and will take no part, and Fry and Behrami are the 2 Swiss players that cannot take a part. Technically they are substitutes, I suppose, because they are sitting down there. But Spain, Torres, Fabregas, they could be okay. They are available to come on. It's the Swiss who are going forward on the far side, and they've won a corner as Barnetta crosses, blocked by a Spanish defender. And just perhaps a little reminder that the Swiss on the break could pose a threat.
Well, that's their game plan, there's no doubt about that. They've got a lot of pace, and that's what they're hoping for. Just a mistake like in the middle of the park and they get 2 on 2 on 3, and it happens for them. But I think they've been very, very well disciplined. You've got to give them a little bit of credit.
Well, defending, of course, is a part of the game, and it's a part that at the moment Switzerland are doing well. Let's see what they can do from this corner. Barnetta and Kufo with the header, but it's cleared by the Spanish as far as the captain Inler, who knocks it back into the box, and it was intended for Kufo, but the goalkeeper Casillas almost immediately straight off his line, and then he tries to turn defence into attack, and he kicked it horribly, skewed it horribly out of play for a Swiss throw-in on the halfway line.
Well, he's had nothing to do, hasn't he? He got a little bit excited there, but I thought it was right, because Switzerland put a lot of players in the box. He's come out with it. Villa had one way or a good break, and he's trying to get it up the field quick. And
Ramos with the throw-in towards the number 7 Villa. There was a Swiss player, Grichting, actually slipped there, and he's having a word with the linesman on this near side and saying, did you not see a push there? But the official didn't, and Switzerland perhaps a little lucky to survive. That could have been a clear opportunity if Villa had a run-on goal. But Switzerland survived. They had a throw-in, and now they have the ball inside the centre circle, and it's Barnetta who's come in from the flank, plays it back to the substitute Von Bergen, and then it's out to the far side. Switzerland attacking down the right hand side. That ball just did take a touch off Capdevila, but spoons up into the air and into the arms again of Casillas. Just over 5 minutes to play here in Durban in the first half, and there's a lot of space now for Silva. He's got support on that far side with Iniesta. There's only Villa really in the middle. That's not the best of balls, but Iniesta does just about keep it in play. Tight to the touchline, shadowed by a couple of Swiss defenders who have done well, and Lichtsteiner clears for the Swiss. As far as Puyol, they just keep giving it away. That's the problem for Switzerland. Spain utterly comfortable in possession. Exactly 5 to go to the break. Busquets just plays a short pass. Ramos wants it, and the Real Madrid man gets it on this near side. He's the right back, but he's advanced into the Swiss half again. Busquets out to the far side, and then the ball is, well, intended to be knocked through by Silva to Villa. Again it was blocked, but here comes Spain once more. Silva with a good looking cross. Villa is there, but Grichting clears, and then stretching on the volley, Xabi Alonso from 20 yards hammers the ball high over the crossbar. He was always stretching. It was always a really, really awkward shot.
Well, I would think Del Bosque at half time will just be saying, look, we've dominated the game, which you expect possession wise and everything what goes with it, but I need a bit more from the front three. You know, Silva, Iniesta and Villa not been in the game enough, not threatened the back of these defenders, not trying to go past defenders enough. They've just played in front of everybody all the time. Very easy to defend against. But as I say, Switzerland deserve a bit of credit. They've been well organised, well disciplined.
Ottmar Hitzfeld, of course, the Swiss coach, and we'll certainly be pleased to take the Spanish into the tunnel at half-time. It's 0-0. A reminder, by the way, as well as 5 Live and all the coverage on BBC Radio and, of course, television, there's our website, and you can listen again to all the best bits, and you can play our superb shootout quiz as well. And the other thing to remind you, our sister station Sports Extra, from 7 o'clock in the morning every day, you can listen to all the previous day's highlights. We were hoping there'd be lots from this match. Unfortunately, I'm saying the first 41 and a half minutes, there've only been a couple of really good opportunities for the Spaniards, and not much else in all honesty. But it is quite one-sided. Certainly the possession stats, as Chris says, will be very interesting. We should get an update at half-time. I'd guess about 70%.
I'm going 85.
85, as much as that, right? Well, it'll be very interesting.
Oh yeah,
85-15. It's caused some mirth for Mr. Fletcher anyway. The ball's on the far side. Silva is dispossessed though, and here come the Swiss down this near side, but Ziegler gives the ball away, but then there's a foul on Inler, and the Swiss have a free kick. Chris Waddle.
Yep, again taking the ball away from Silva, trying to break. Inler's been 2 challenges really. Busquets and Alonso took him out.
Funnily enough, Inler is, if you like, the hard man of the Swiss midfield, the captain, but I think this afternoon he's probably been awarded more free kicks than he's conceded. Long ball from the Swiss again, but Capdevila just allows that to run out of play, and Casillas will take a goal kick for the Spanish. Here's Piqué, who made 23 Manchester United appearances over 4 seasons at Old Trafford. Never really first choice, of course. but he is at Barcelona and he is for Spain, and that's a good ball from Ramos. Long ball forward. Here's Villa on the edge of the box. He had to backtrack a little. Xabi leaves it. Shot comes in from Iniesta. Well, high, wide and handsome. Never really got his sight set properly.
What a ball by Ramos to spot the run of Villa, which was perfect just onside, and what terrific feet. Fantastic feet by Villa. But Iniesta, unfortunately, couldn't control the shot, couldn't keep it low. 22, 23 yards out. High.
Worth remembering, of course, that Spain, although they are the current European champions, at 4th place is their best ever World Cup performance, and that was in 1950. So they have no real pedigree at that tournament, but they have got, if you like, a golden generation at the moment, just as Chris was saying before the match, like France had a few years ago. We'd rather hope that England had. That's been talked about in terms of England, but at the moment, certainly from that first game, things didn't go so well for them. At the moment, they're not going that well for Spain, because it's still goalless with just over a minute plus stoppage time remaining. It's a really good tackle there from Silva, and now Xabi just touches it forward. This is Iniesta. Oh, Villa's found a little bit of space. Villa, Grichting won't reach him. Neither will Von Bergen. Here, oh, that's lovely play. Chips it up and chips it wide of the post. Well, he should have either hit it firmly, or he should have found a man.
I think he's mishit it. I think he's went for goal. He's tried to chip it over the goalkeeper, and it didn't look like they crossed. But terrific skill, and his movement was fantastic.
Well, that was another really good move. We've probably seen 3 really top quality moves from the Spanish in this first half. But Villa has now, Silva rather, now out on the far side. He's forced wide by Lichtstein, and the ball's played in towards Busquets, and the header skims out of the penalty area, skims off his head out of the penalty area on this near side. This is Iniesta. Ramos makes a run. It's a dummy run in the end, a decoy run. Return ball to Iniesta, just lifts it into the box again. He might have thought about having an effort on goal, and the ball was just out of the penalty area on the far side, because a couple of players slipped over there, including Lichtsteiner. Looked to the referee for a free kick. Not forthcoming. Howard Webb just says play on, and we're now into stoppage time.
1 minute out of stoppage there, but they really shouldn't be pulling the trigger when you get in that box, in the space he's got Iniesta. He's got to be brave enough. They're always looking for that extra pass, Spain.
Xabi with the long ball out to the far side. Iniesta chested it down. There's a swift Swiss tackle, and so now a throw-in to Spain. Busquets just plays it infield for Xabi. Now it's Alonso. They're going backwards temporarily, are Spain. Alonso again tries to play that ball through the inside left channel, but it's good defending that from Barnetta. Just wallops the ball downfield. We've got about 15 seconds to play. There's quite a few people start to leave the back of each tier of the stadium and go for some refreshments at half-time, but Spain still got a few seconds left perhaps here. Villa, level with the edge of the penalty area, left-hand side. Villa turns round and looks outside him once more and finds Iniesta. I make it, time is up. Capdevila is forced back into the centre circle, and Howard Webb has decided we've played enough stoppage time, just 1 minute of added time, and it ends at half-time at 0-0, and not perhaps, Chris Waddle, the game we'd hoped for.
No, I've got to say some of the football Spain have played, the way they've controlled the game, dominated possession, but it's about the final third, and goals win football matches. Everybody knows it's not rocket science, and they haven't been a big enough threat in the final third. Everywhere up to the final third, they've been what you expect. But I'm sure Del Bosco will be thinking of changes. Somebody who's more positive, who wants to go on goal and shoot. At the minute, Switzerland, give them credit, very well disciplined. They're playing their game plan, and it's rewarded them with a 0-0 so far. 2 or 3 good chances, all to Spain, but no goals. Spain 0, Switzerland 0 at half-time.
Thanks, Mark. There's a big sign inside the stadium. A couple of Spanish supporters holding it that says Fabregas, always a gunner. And we'll wait and see whether that's going to be right come the start of the season.
Did you read that right? I thought it said gunner.
We can confirm 66% the official statistics with regard to Spain's possession in the first half, which I think was a bit generous towards Switzerland. So 0-0 here. Spain should have had a penalty in the first half for that trip on David Silva. Neither coaches made a change at the break. So Spain line up with Casillas in goal, Ramos, Piqué, Puyol and Capdevila at the back. And then they basically do what they like in front of that. Busquets, Alonso and Xavi, Iniesta, Silva and Villa. Red shirts and blue shorts for the defending European champions. And here's Valencia's David Silva on the right edge of the Swiss penalty area. Spins away from the defender with ease. Gets towards the byline and pulls it back towards Xavi. And it's smuggled behind by Switzerland for a corner.
No, that's more what you want from Silva there. Terrific wing play. Great ball by Alonso. Went fake, crossed it with his favourite left foot onto his right. Just couldn't pick somebody out in the middle. Got himself a corner.
I'll give you the Swiss side in a second, but they've got this corner to defend, have Switzerland. And Xavi of Barcelona has gone out to take it from the right-hand side, and he's pulled it back to Xabi Alonso, and he strikes the ball first time from the edge of the penalty area, and as it always does, it sails over the bar.
Well, I can't blame the ball for that. That was a terrific work corner. Alonso just lying back slightly, got under it, high, very, very high over the bar.
So the Swiss team, Benaglio in goal, the different back four, Lichtsteiner, Von Bergen, Grichting and Ziegler. Senderos went off in the first half. And then across the middle, and Kufo, Hugel, Inler, Fernandez and Barnetta. Derdiok is effectively the lone striker. And just a word on Senderos, he's gone off injured in a World Cup match again. If you think back 4 years ago, he dislocated his shoulder in one of the group games and ended up not playing as many matches as he would have wanted to. And it looks as though the injury curse has struck him again in a World Cup finals tournament. He injured his ankle, it would appear, kicking his own player. And he was substituted 10 minutes before the end of the first half. So Spain 0, Switzerland 0. You're listening to 5 Live from the BBC from Durban with darker skies now all around this arena. The floodlights are on. Switzerland have a free kick. It's delivered into the Spanish box and flicked away by Carlos Puyol, who's then tripped up by Gerard Piqué on the edge of the penalty area. Back in towards Derdiok, who's onside. Puyol's header away, and Kufo is a little bit slow to react, and that's picked up by Iniesta and then cleared away by Capdevere down the left-hand side. Von Bergen comes across and defends impressively in front of David Villa, and the ball is now with Grichting, his central defensive colleague. But Villa's not given that up. He'd done well, and then he's fouled by Grichting, and it's going to be a Spain free kick on this left-hand side. Well, probably wasn't a bad free kick to give away.
Well, he's got to watch himself. He's on a yellow, Darren, and the Howard Webb there was run across very quickly and had a word with him.
Not necessarily sure that Howard Webb has given the kind of performance here in his opening match of the tournament that he would have wanted to. I certainly think that penalty claim in the first half is going to be a big talking point if Spain don't go on to win this match. Here's Iniesta on the left-hand side of the field. Now Capdevere, the left-back, takes over. That's blocked by the right-back for Switzerland, Lichtsteiner, and it's gone behind for a Spain corner.
I think Howard Webb, he's done all right, but he's very hesitant on decisions.
Yeah.
The key ones which can turn a game, he doesn't blow quick enough for me.
So corner to Spain on this left-hand side. Xavi is across to take it. The Vuvuzelas in full flight all around the arena. Short it goes to Iniesta, then back to Xabi Alonso, floated into the penalty area, headed away by Von Bergen. As far as Silva, excellent crossfield ball by Silva, back out towards the Spain left. It's with Iniesta, skips away from Barnetta, pulls it into the centre towards Silva. Silva runs into Inler. The central midfielder did a good job there for Switzerland and gets it away, but everybody apart from Casillas is inside the Switzerland half. 0-0. Here's Xabi Alonso, and we played 49 minutes of this match here in Durban. Remember, 7:30, Bafana back in action. South Africa versus Uruguay. The whole game live from Pretoria as Switzerland come forward with Hugel, and then wide towards this right side, and Lichtsteiner. That's a poor cross. It's one of the few times in this game where they got players in the centre, 3 players in the penalty area, and Lichtsteiner came up with a very poor final ball in. Now here comes Spain on the left-hand side with Andres Iniesta of Barcelona, and he's going to run at Inler and skip away from him in the penalty area. Iniesta at the byline, pulls it back into the middle, and it's cleared away by the Swiss defence as far as Alonso, who curls it, and it takes a deflection off Grichting's head and spins behind for a corner.
Well, the tempo of the game's actually got a little bit more. The Swiss, every time they broke, Spain break back very quickly on them. Iniesta's really heavily involved in the second half.
Corner then to Spain on the right, their third since the resumption of this match. 5 minutes gone in the second half. Very colourful scenes all around this Moses Mabhida Stadium in Durban. Corner taken short again by the Spanish. It's taken by Xavi to Silva, and then to Xabi Alonso, to Xavi on the edge of the box, whipped into the middle towards Puyol, flicked on by Busquets, and then fisted away by Benaglio, with Sergio Ramos threatening at the far post.
Well, another well-worked corner, short corner yet again. 3 of them out there this time. Decent ball in by Xavi, flicked on by Busquets, and Ramos was coming at the far post. Goalkeeper did the right thing.
Look at this Spain defence. Two central defenders play for Barcelona. That was the best defence in La Liga this season. For all the flair of Messi, etc., they're very tough to score on, and both of those defenders have gone forward for this corner, Puyol and Piqué. Now it's with Xabi Alonso on the left, back out towards Iniesta, who's a growing influence on the match, and again he skips away from a Swiss defender. Puyol heads it back, it'll fall for Busquets, leaves it for Silva. His shot was poor, he didn't strike it at all well, and it's well wide of Benalio's left hand post. Chris Waddle.
It's that man Iniesta again, short corner, got it back, a little bit of skill, picks his teammate Puyol out at the far post. And for me, if he heads it back across the goal, there's a lot of red shirts in there, and it could have resulted in a goal. He's headed it back to the 18-yard line, and it was a poor effort.
Del Bosque certainly made a big impact when he replaced Aragonés. He won his first 13 games in charge as the Spain coach. Spain appearing in their 13th World Cup final appearance, but they've got some defending to do here because Dirdioc's in, and it's a chance for Switzerland. It's inside the 6-yard box, and it's in, and Switzerland have scored, and it's Gelson Fernandes, once of Manchester City, with the Spain defence all over the place. And are we going to have the first big shock of this World Cup 2010? The favourites are behind, totally against the run of play. It's Spain 0, Switzerland 1.
Well, unbelievable. We kept thinking on the breakaway that was the best bet. This time was a bit of a hash of the defensive qualities of Spain. And Piqué has split his head on the side, just the right of his eye, and he's lying down the goal mouth, as is. We can't say who it is. I think it's...
Well, it just opened up, didn't it? Initially for Dirdiok, who was clattered by Casillas. Then Piqué went down inside the 6-yard box and tried to clear. Snapping onto it was Gelson Fernandes, and I don't think he could believe his eyes when he saw the ball 2 yards out from the Spain goal with nobody there, and he managed to smash it into the net from close range. He couldn't miss. And what a story we've got here, Chris.
Well, what you've got is Casillas has a heavy challenge on Dirdiok, and as he falls over, Piqué's coming in. Dirdiok's right foot, as he's falling, catches Piqué on the side of the head, which has cut his eye.
Yeah.
And he's still getting a bit of treatment. But, well, can you write the script on this? You've never seen this happen. Well, one mistake, one goal.
The Swiss fans on the far side, who are all in their red and white, they're bouncing up and down, they're waving their flags and their scarves, they're blowing their vuvuzelas, because the tournament favourites, the team that just doesn't lose international matches, trail to Switzerland in the opening game of their campaign in South Africa 2010. They've had total domination in terms of the ball. They're behind. Piqué is still receiving some treatment off the field away to our right. What a situation Spain find themselves in now.
Well, totally run against the run of play. I keep saying Barcelona, there's not many Barcelona players out there. Spain really are dominating the play, and they've been, I think, very good the second half. Iniesta's been round the back 3 times, crossed great balls. You keep thinking the goal's coming. They've been punished on a counter-attack, but the one thing for Spain is there's enough time to get themselves back into this.
They're playing with 10 men at the moment because Piqué is being patched up behind Casillas' goal away to our right. It's the first real job that Casillas has had to do in the match, which was to collide with Dirdiok and then eventually pick the ball out of his own net. So Spain 0, Switzerland 1 here in Durban. What will Spain do to respond? Sergio Ramos out towards David Silva on the right, probably increases the likelihood of seeing Fernando Torres in the match for certain, and he's warming up I think now behind Benalio's goal away to our left hand side. Now here's David Silva out towards Ramos, floated into the middle towards Villa, and Benalio, big tall goalkeeper, stretched out his right hand and claimed it comfortably.
He's played very well, the goalkeeper so far, and you've got to give, Switzerland are not good on the eye, I've got to say. They're playing against a world class team, we know. They've never really put any passes together. They've just been organised. They've been very, very disciplined, and that's been the key to Switzerland taking the lead.
Piqué's back on. He's got the tape over his right eye, where the cut was from the flying boot of Dirdiok, who was absolutely clattered by Iker Casillas. I just wonder, whether it's a South African thing for Spain. The last time they lost an international, it was here in South Africa. The United States beat them in the semi-final of the Confederations Cup. Since then, they've won every international game they've played. They're back in the Rainbow Nation, and they're a goal down against Switzerland with 10 minutes played in the second half. And a sensation on the cards if it stays like this here in Durban on 5 Live, your World Cup station from the BBC. 7:30, you'll get all the atmosphere and all the build-up from Pretoria. South Africa against Uruguay on a night when Bafana, the host nation, will try and win a match in the World Cup finals and take a really big step towards the second round if they do that. Earlier today, Chile beat Honduras by 1-0. But the game they're all going to be talking about, should it stay like this, is Spain 0, Switzerland 1, Gelson Fernandez with the goal. But here come the Spanish on the left. Iniesta, though, has committed a foul, and it's going to be a free kick in the right-back position to Switzerland.
You know what I would do? I mean, we don't know how fit Torres is doing, but for me, if he's fit and he's a sub, his name, he's warming up, I'd stick him on in the next 5 minutes. I'd take Alonso off and I'd put Iniesta in the pack of three and go for that. Put Silva on the left and go for it.
Got to say, Chris, since that goal went in from Switzerland, it's knocked Spain, hasn't it? Because they've not been quite as fluid as they were before. They've been galvanised, the Swiss, by the fact they've got the lead. And the one thing that Switzerland like to do is defend. Now they've got the lead, it makes them maybe slightly more dangerous, because here's Lichtsteiner down the right, crossed in towards Nkufo, and there was almost miscommunication between Piqué and Casillas. In the end, the Barcelona defender left it to the Real Madrid goalkeeper, and he could pick it up, but that was promising again for the Swiss. Here comes Spain down the left. Iniesta, just outside the penalty area, still Iniesta, flicked in towards Villa. It's not really worked, that combination today. Again, the Swiss defence are very comfortable with it, and it's cleared by Lichtsteiner out for a throw-in on the left-hand side of Spain. Play from right to left as we look at it in this second half.
Well, he's got his game plan right. The manager, he's coming at the most difficult game of the tournament, first game against a team like Spain, but they've got it right so far.
Xabi Alonso out towards the right side, and David Silva. Overlapping goes Sergio Ramos. Silva will play it short and backwards to Xabi Alonso, then out to the long-haired Ramos on the right edge of the box, just outside the angle. Back to Xabi Alonso, whipped into the penalty area and headed away by Von Bergen as far as Iniesta. He's going to take on Lichtsteiner, rolls it short, hit by David Villa and claimed pretty comfortably, just moving to his left-hand side by Diego Benaglio.
It's all in front of the Swiss, though. They're not getting behind him. Iniesta, I've got to say, is the most positive for the second half on his shirt. He's got behind 2 or 3 times, but not enough from the other players. Nobody wants to get behind the Swiss. It's all in front of them. Very easy to defend against.
Well, they didn't concede a goal 4 years ago in Germany, Switzerland, and went out in the second round on penalties to Ukraine. And they've defended pretty stoutly so far in this match here against Spain. They lead 1-0 as the ball is crossed into their penalty area, headed away by Gristing, the Swiss central defender. Back out to the right side is Sergio Ramos for Spain. Closed down by the goalscorer Fernandez. Crossed in towards Villa, and Lichtsteiner, who didn't really want to take a chance, just hooks it away, and it'll go out, I think, for a corner to Spain on this left-hand side.
You've got to get Torres or Llorente on. You've got to get a presence in that box. They're putting some good balls and good crosses in. Get somebody who likes to attack them on.
Corner to Spain on the left-hand side. Whipped in there by Xavi. Headed away very easily by Dirdiok at the near post. As far as Xavi Alonso. Then out towards the left-hand side. And Iniesta once more renews hostilities with Lichtsteiner. Rolls it back now to Xavi. Just outside the area. Xavi's ball in. Charged down by Nkufo. Silva didn't gather, but Ramos will on the right-hand side. Just backheels the ball into the shins of Ziegler out there over there, the left back, and it's gone out for a throw into Spain. So Spain 0, Switzerland 1. If you're pinching yourselves listening to 5 Live here from Durban, with the flashbulbs going off around this very colourful stadium. Sergio Ramos leads on Nkufo, merry dance, pulls it back from the byline, inland misses the header, cleared away by Lichtsteiner, back in then by Busquets, and then back out to Busquets by Xavi, then out to Ramos on the right hand side. Ramos slips away from the defender. Gelson Fernandez makes the challenge, and it's out for a corner to Spain.
It's unbelievable, the pressure, isn't it? They're just looking for that one bit of quality. The Swiss are getting tired now, they're getting strung out slightly. Be interested to see if he's there. They're warming a lot of subs up as well. I think he's going to need them soon.
They certainly have been chasing their tails for the large part of this match, Switzerland, but they lead the European champions by a goal to 0. Xavi's corner, high into the middle, headed forwards there by Ramos and onto the roof of the net. Would have been some finish from there, from all of 14 yards with his head, and it's gone behind, and it's a goal kick. Explain to me how this magnificent game works, Chris. 1 defeat in 48 matches for Spain. Switzerland have suffered defeats to Norway, Uruguay and Costa Rica in qualifying. The only real bright spot for them was the fact that they got a draw in their final match in preparation for the finals, and here they are. They've hardly seen the ball, let alone do anything with it, and they lead the best team on the planet with regards to form by a goal to 0.
You can't explain. That's the wonder of football, isn't it? Everybody who's done football coupons and everything will have banker on Spain. I know it's still a long way to go, but they've had one real chance It was a scramble. They took it, but they defended very well.
An hour gone. Here's David Villa in behind the Swiss defence. Brilliant goalkeeping again by Benaglio. Sprinted off his line, dived at Villa's feet, pushed the ball away, and then it's cleared away by Reto Ziegler over the halfway line. Flicked on by Nkufo towards Derdiok, and just for a minute there, Cap de Villa wasn't particularly comfortable, but he manages to clear it back into the Swiss half, and we're going to see a double change here from Spain. Not surprisingly, Fernando Torres is going to be coming on, and Jesus Navas as well is going to be sent into the fray by Del Bosque. What do they say, Chris? Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yeah, I would think Silva will come off, depending on the fitness of Iniesta. But Alonso, he's got to have Busquets. He's got to be one of the two centre midfield players.
Well, Busquets is coming off. He's the first one. So Fernando Torres for Sergio Busquets. And the arrival of Torres leads to an extremely loud cheer from all the supporters inside this stadium. And David Silva is going to be replaced by the wide man for Sevilla, Jesus Navas, who I'm told suffers from anxiety now. I'd be a little bit anxious coming on here.
I'll tell you what, he's a good player. He's very good, tricky, works hard, bit of pace, puts a lot of crosses in that box, and I'm sure Torres will be pleased he's on.
Well, David Villa now has a strike partner in Fernando Torres, so an extra threat for the Swiss defence to deal with, and Navas has just gone out towards that right-hand side, which is virtually a like-for-like replacement for David Silva, who's not really made the impact on this game that you might have expected him to. He's a player that one or two teams in the Premier League are supposedly looking at. David Silva still plays his club football for Valencia, but they're a team that needs to sell, so it wouldn't surprise anybody should he leave this summer. It's all about this World Cup 2010 though at the moment for Spain, and trying to avoid a shock defeat that would rank up there with Cameroon against Argentina in 1990, Senegal against France in 2002. This one would be as big, if not bigger than both of those.
Well, as I said, nobody would have predicted this. Maybe a draw if they defended well, which they have, but to get a win would be an unbelievable start for Switzerland.
The Swiss fans on the far side can't believe it. The Spanish fans are just sat looking glumly and hoping their side can get back into the match. They're a goal down. Gelson Fernandez has it on 5 Live. First touch for Torres at the byline. Takes on Ziegler. Still got it, Torres, and he's fouled, is he, by Fernandez? Not according to Howard Webb. Spain keep the possession though with Xavi. Little ball to Villa. Villa inside the D. Shot comes in and it's just wide from Iniesta. Might have awarded a free kick to Spain. Allowed the play to continue, and then Iniesta tried to curl it, and it was a yard wide of Benaglio's post.
I'll tell you what, Darren, they've changed the game. Navas wants to run that way. Torres, we know, plays the legs to get behind defenders. Straight away, Spain's got a great option now. They've got to use it. 2 in the box. Great effort, Iniesta. You'd fancy it to score from that position, though.
Always reminds me, when you get a team like this on the ropes, how they can respond. It's like the Incredible Hulk when he said, "Don't make me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry." Just wonder whether the Swiss have made the Spanish angry. What it guarantees is it's going to be a fantastic last 25 minutes or so here in Durban on 5 Live. Spain 0, Switzerland 1. Gelson Fernandez. After 52 minutes, Spain have thrown everything, including the kitchen sink, at Benaglio, and they've not managed to score. Torres and Navas on to change things for them. Up towards Torres, who's a physical presence up there for Spain that they've not had so far. Wins his first header against Christing, but it rolls through to Benaglio, the goalkeeper.
Torres again, an option for Xavi. Straight, a big high ball upfield to him. You haven't really seen them do that today. That's what I'm saying. He's not normally, how we associate Spain, technical players. Torres is different. He's strong, he's quick, he likes to run behind, and he gets a lot of his goals doing that. He's not the typical Spanish footballer to me.
There's a lot of parallels, Chris, in this game today, Spain against Switzerland, which is predominantly a Spanish team made up of players from Barcelona, to what we saw in the Nou Camp in the second leg of Barcelona against Inter Milan in the Champions League, where they threw everything at them and were ultimately frustrated. They scored late, but it wasn't enough, and they went out and Inter Milan went on to win it. Similar kind of game we're seeing here.
Yeah, they are. I think the easiest part of football is to defend. To create is very, very difficult, and what the Swiss have done, they've really won up front and they've just worked their socks off, getting close, trying to block, head, clear, anything.
Well, Switzerland have got to the 65-minute mark with the lead intact, and Switzerland have got the ball with their right back Lichtsteiner back towards Benaglio, who looks very cool and calm and collected behind his defence. The defenders as well certainly don't look prone to panic. They've dealt with everything that Spain have thrown their way, and they seem very well prepared for what this Spanish side are going to throw at them. Here comes Navas from the right, crossed in towards Torres, who just got goal side of Christing. His header comes off the Swiss defender, and it's gone behind for a corner to Spain.
Well, Navas likes to get at players really straight away, gets it out of his feet, early delivery.
Well, he's different to Silva in that way, isn't he? Gets the ball early into the penalty area, which strikers thrive upon. Corner then to Spain on the right, Xavi to take it, pulls it back towards Xabi Alonso. He can't get hold of the ball. It's now with Iniesta midway inside the Swiss half, in towards Puyol with that long crop of shaggy hair. He can't reach it, and it's gone behind.
Well, they'll keep persevering and play a certain way. As I said, they've got a few options now.
Just seeing a replay of the goal again, and the kick in the face for Piqué. There was so many ricochets on the ball as it went into the penalty area. Not sure anybody knew where it was.
He got a kick in the face, and as he landed, Fernandez whacked the ball in his face as well.
Now here comes Switzerland with Nkufo, and then back it goes towards the halfway line, and Lichtsteiner back down the line towards Nkufo, who's born in DR Congo but plays his international football for Switzerland. Now Inler the captain, runs away from Navas. He's just outside the Spain penalty area left side with Reto Ziegler rampaging past him. Inler's still got the ball, and he's got it into the penalty area to Fernandez again. Fernandez takes on Gerard Piqué, and Piqué slides it out for a throw-in.
Well, it's a good little spell this for Switzerland. They've got up the park, they've actually strung 4 or 5 passes together, probably the first time in the game.
Throw in then to the Swiss on the left, and it looks like Ziegler's going to send a long one into the Spanish penalty area. Huggel is available. It's in towards Benjamin Huddle, and it's gone right the way through to the goalkeeper Iker Casillas, who hasn't had a shot to save in this match. The only time the ball's got into his box, he's collided with Dirdiok, and it's wound up in the back of the net via Fernandez. Bizarre. Xabi Alonso for Spain, out towards the right hand side, and Navas, the winger from Sevilla, takes on Ziegler, crossed into the middle towards Villa, not very far the clearance from Christing. Torres wins it back. Now Xavi towards Torres. Torres has gone down on the edge of the penalty area, no foul, and Switzerland played up towards Nkufo. And it's worth mentioning that both Nkufo and Dirdiok, when they do get the ball into their feet, are making it stick and giving Switzerland the chance to get out.
Well, the game's getting stretched a bit now, Darren. Both sets of players are a little bit tired.
Villa into the centre towards Fernando Torres. Torres in for Spain. Right foot shot on the turn is over the top of the crossbar, and maybe a sharper Fernando Torres would have punished Switzerland there.
Totally agree. Bit of shortage of match practice. I'm sure he's been working on the training ground hard, but there's nothing he can do in games. He swivels, just doesn't look loose, does he? Doesn't look that sharp. He just looks a little bit stiff. And he's basically hit it high over the bar.
Well, it's the midway point of the second half, and I didn't expect to be saying to David Oates, let's see if Spain can come back and avoid a shock defeat. Here he is.
Thank you again, Darren. Yeah, it really would put the cat among the pigeons if it stays like this. A quarter of the game to go then. The Swiss leading, thanks to Gelson Fernandez' scrappy goal, but the all-cannon has a good ball in to Nkufo, who wins the header, and I think he thought the last touch came off Puyol and he got a corner there. The header went well wide, but the referee Howard Webb says no, and it's a goal kick. And Spain, well, they're looking to take their free kicks and the goal kicks a little more quickly now, because time is possibly against them, but still over 20 minutes to go as Xabi picks up the ball inside the centre circle, and he looks to Navas on his far side. Doesn't like being away from home, the man from Sevilla. He suffers from homesickness and brings on, as Darren said, anxiety attacks, so they'll have to keep a watch on him, I suppose, in the camp. But what he has got is blistering pace, and we've already seen 1 or 2 decent crosses from Jesus Navas. At the moment, though, it's the Swiss with Lichtsteiner, who's played very well at right back, who has a throw-in. Chris Warner.
Yeah, they've defended well, the whole team. You know, they're starting to get a little bit more confidence on the break now. Barcelona are really playing a 4-4-2, and there is gaps.
Iniesta plays the ball out to this near side. Villa plays it forward. Torres is onside. Torres might need some support here. He shoots, and it's diverted behind by Benalio. He wins the corner. I don't think that was going in anyway. The keeper obviously didn't want to take any chances, any risks whatsoever. And it's Xavi with another corner. Spain have had plenty of these. Back to Alonso, and Alonso stays there off the top of the crossbar and bounces down. Clearly didn't cross the line. Absolutely thwacked against the bar by Alonso, and this time he caught it just right.
Oh, he caught it perfect, and Liverpool fans will have saw him do that many times. He strikes a terrific ball, hits the ball, very unfortunate it didn't go in. Terrific effort.
Well, he's only scored 8 goals for Spain in almost 70 appearances. He was very, very close, though, to getting another. Here's Navas on the far side, level with the edge of the penalty area. Spain trailing here on 5 Live. The European champions trailing Switzerland by 1-0 if you're just tuning in. Don't forget tonight, South Africa against Uruguay. Navas on the far side just allows the ball to trickle out of play. Couldn't keep it in. This cross that came after the ball had gone out of play, so it's a Swiss goal kick. And Del Bosque, the Spain coach, his managerial record with his national side at the moment, played 27, won 26, lost 1 in the Confederations Cup, as Darren mentioned earlier, to the USA. They came into this match in form. The Swiss didn't, although they did draw their final friendly against Italy, which is no mean feat, but they had some poor results in the build-up to this World Cup. But they are leading here by 1-0, and we have only 19 minutes remaining here in Durban. Navas wins the header and now finds Torres, and Torres tries to bundle his way through towards goal, but the defending is good. The resistance is stout again from the Swiss. Piqué squares it to Puyol, now to Xabi inside the centre circle. Iniesta, who was a real threat at the start of the second half in particular, he's quietened down of late, plays a return ball to Xabi, and Xabi looks up, and again they're trying to pick out Navas on the far side, and Navas does well, gets goal side and shoots low, and well taken by Ben Ali.
Well, it wasn't the best first touch I've seen from Navas, was it? Good ball by Xavi, crossfield. He got a little bit of good fortune, but it was his pace what got him there as he pushed it past Ziegler. He just gets inside of him and he scoops it rather than strikes it. It's not the cleanest strike, scoops along the ground, and it's an easy save.
Well, Ottmar Hitzfeld, who is the Swiss coach, described the job as a dream job for him, although he is actually German. He was born very near the Swiss border and grew up speaking Swiss German. Of course, he's won the Champions League a couple of times with Bayern Munich and with Dortmund. But this, I'm sure, would rival any achievement, really, that he's had to date if Switzerland can hold on here. They are attacking at the moment down this near side. The cross, I think it was intended to be a cross, that from Bernata. It wasn't very good. And it was easily taken by Casillas, and now Xabi has it just outside his own penalty area, just being clipped, having his ankles clipped, and Howard Webb awards the free kick. Xabi takes it quickly, finds Piqué, again stroked out along the floor to Navas. Navas tries to get past Ziegler, and he's done it as well. Ziegler hauling him back there. That's got to be a yellow card.
Got to be yellow, definitely, and that's good for Spain. Keep getting the ball out of Navas. Ziegler's finding my handful. Where Silva like to cut inside, didn't really run. Navas, nice winger, little drag back, pushes it down the outside, and Ziegler can't handle him at the minute. He's got himself a yellow card.
So Ziegler will have to watch his step. Howard Webb absolutely spot on with that decision, and he made the decision quickly. And the yellow card to Ziegler, and the free kick to Spain, and we have virtually everybody inside the penalty area. This long ball comes on. Here's an opportunity for Piqué, but he was offside.
Yeah, he was offside. Wasn't the best header. It was Ramos who heads it down. Piqué just drifts into an offside, but he didn't do anything about it anyway. It just hit him and fell into the goalkeeper's hands.
16 and a half minutes remaining. Spain 0, Switzerland 1 in the Moses Mahiba Stadium here in Durban. We haven't had too many matches in the early stages of the group stages that have really set this South Africa 2010 World Cup alight, but this would be a great story. It might get better, because here's an opportunity for Derdiok. Great skill from Derdiok. Oh, and he hits the post, and Derdiok tries again, and it's blocked by Piqué, and the shot comes in, and still Spain haven't cleared it. Derdiok once more, and now Puyol will get it away, and the Swiss so unlucky. They could easily have scored a second goal. Casillas was beaten. That was superb skill from Leverkusen's Derdiok. Absolutely brilliant. But now Spain have swept down the other end of the field. Opportunity perhaps for Navas if he can cross. He can. That's a really good clearing header though. Navas tries again. He hooks it too far. It's behind for a goal kick. Chris Waddle, what about that chance?
What a run. Derdiok, fantastic bit of skill. He goes past 3 or 4 players, doesn't he? He's got good pace. Rides the first challenge, cuts inside on Piqué, goes past Quill, and he's got to score. He flicks it with the outside of his right foot, hits the post and comes back.
Great touch for a big player as well. He's 6 feet 3 inches tall, is Eren Derdiok. He was the youngest player in the Swiss squad at 2008, and he was desperately unlucky not to double the Swiss lead. As it is, they still have the advantage. They are leading Spain by 1-0 as Puyol just steps forward but allows the ball to sail over his head, and it's picked up by Piqué midway inside his own half. We've got exactly 15 minutes to go, and Spain are threatening again. Iniesta has done well. He stayed onside. He tried to cross. Lichtstein has blocked. It's out of play for a Spain throw-in down this near side, and Iniesta, I think, has stayed down.
I wonder if he's feeling the effects of his injury. He's not looked as sharp as we know. He's been good. He's holding the back of his hamstring. I just wonder if it's gone again. I know he had problems with his thighs, and he's had a lot of injury problems, muscle strains. I wonder if his hamstring's gone.
Well, he's only 26, Iniesta, but he's got an incredible record of 12 major club honours. Had the honour of being described by no less a figure than Wayne Rooney as the best player in the world. But Barcelona's Andres Iniesta is down and is staying down. And it's possible here that Chris Waddle is absolutely right, and that he won't be able to take any further part in this game. He's hobbling towards the near side touchline. Got one more sub up the sleeve, haven't they?
Pedro's coming on, I think. Obviously a good replacement. I thought he'd come on anyway, but Iniesta doesn't look happy the way he's walking off. Oh, he's telling the doctor's actually saying wait.
Well, they will just wait a minute. Pedro Rodriguez, by the way, at 23 goals last season for Barcelona, and he only started 22 games. But now I think the substitution will be made. It is Pedro Rodriguez who is coming on, and it will be Iniesta that he replaces. So Spain going for broke now, as they have to. They're trailing here, 13 and a half minutes to go, plus stoppage time. Just confirmation on the big board that is the switch. Iniesta doesn't look too bad as he walks off down the touchline, but clearly can't play any more in this match. Obviously they've got two more group matches to go. Honduras and Johannesburg on Monday, and then Chile could be a good one, couldn't it, in Pretoria a week on Friday. The ball is with Bernalillo. It's been run out of play again by the Spanish. Bernalillo has a goal kick, and Chris Waddle, what do you think? Can they hang on?
Well, Pedro's had a terrific season. Not a bad player to put on, is he? He's quick, likes to get at players, and can score goals.
Goal kick then taken by Bernalillo, the Swiss goalkeeper, the Swiss-Italian goalkeeper. That ball's played near side by Capdevila, infield to Alonso, now into the centre circle with Xabi again, along the floor and wide to Navas, and here is Pedro, level with the edge of the penalty area, right hand side. Spain have three in the box. Navas crosses, good clearance. Richting just put his foot through the ball and volleyed it away only as far as Capdevila. Everybody bar Casillas and Pujols exactly on the halfway line, but everybody else bar Casillas in the Swiss half, and good defending again, but the ball comes out to Navas, who tried the shot from distance, and that wasn't too far wide. What, 2 yards? That
was a great effort, wasn't it? Just comes from, pops up off his thigh, thinks of nothing else. Nice volley, and beat the goalkeeper. He was just half a yard wide, if that.
Well, that was actually closer than I thought at first glance, to be honest. We were at the wrong side for that, really. It was very, very close. We've got another substitution. Hakan Yakin is coming on for the Swiss.
Dirdiok.
And he will replace Dirdiok, who was desperately unlucky, really, not to score a second goal for the Swiss tonight.
Well, he had a terrific run. You say, we had one chance, didn't take it, but he's worked hard. He's put in a shift for the team. He's pressurised players. He's been very disciplined in what he did, and it could have been a great goal if it had gone in instead of coming back off the post.
So Hakan Yakin is on. The man who famously, when he was at Paris Saint-Germain, he had one or two fitness problems, keeping the weight off, and the coach there, his coach at the time, Milutinovic I think it was, took one look at him and said, "Your wife must be a good cook." I think he did manage to lose a little bit of timber after that, but he didn't last long in France. He's now playing back in Switzerland for Lucerne. Xabi out on the far side, finds Navas again with a cross. Not seen much of Torres really since he came on. A couple of early bright touches, but they're struggling to get the ball to him here, Spain, and just over 10 minutes remain on 5 Live here in Durban. Spain 0, Switzerland 1. The scorer Gelson Fernandes, familiar name of course to Manchester City supporters, and that was in the 52nd minute. Again the ball is with Navas. Pedro wants it to the back edge of the penalty area. Instead it's played backwards to Ramos. Ramos with the cross, a high hanging cross, not much really that Torres could do with that. Piqué has gone forward and stayed forward, and here is the Barcelona man. Plays it infield to Pedro. They're going backwards, backpedaling at the moment to Spain. Alonso back into their own half. Capdevila, the left back, and then Puyol. Puyol out to Ramos, just inside the Swiss half. Now it's with Navas, midway inside the half, right hand side. He tries to break. Ziegler has done pretty well, apart from giving away that foul that cost him a yellow card. He's done quite well against the blistering pace of the substitute Navas, and now there is a little bit of space, and it's knocked forward to Barnetta, and Barnetta gives the ball, but there's no real run there from a Swiss attacker, and so Ramos will go back and get it, and Spain will start all over again.
Yeah, well, it gives them time, the Swiss, to get organised again. The ball's gone through, they've got to go and get it, and as I said, Switzerland have been very disciplined today.
Well, it has been an outstanding defensive performance from the Swiss, and exactly 9 more minutes for them to hold out, plus a little bit of stoppage time. It will be one of the stories of not just this World Cup, any World Cup really. Pedro has it, left hand, edge of the penalty area, flights across, it goes all the way across the box, and now it's Navas on his right foot. He will try to cross. Swiss defenders quite rightly keep their arms right by their side. They make a great show of doing that, so they're not pinged for handball. And now there's a possibility perhaps with Yakin that the Swiss can get forward and maybe catch Spain on the break, as they've done once already in this game. Here's Barnetta, flashes a shot, and that wasn't too far, just about a yard over the crossbar, and it's a goal kick.
Oh, it was a strange shot, that, wasn't it? I thought maybe a slight deflection. A few of the Swiss players thought it was. No, it wasn't. It seemed to be in the air for a long, long time.
So we have 8 minutes to go now, and Spain still trailing here by a 1-0. Ranked by FIFA number 2 in the world. I think many people's tournament favourites, this terrific run that they have been on. Here's Gelson Fernandez, the goal scorer, plays it downfield. This is Nkufo up front, virtually on his own, but Yakin has joined him, and now there's a shooting opportunity perhaps on the edge of the penalty area for the Swiss. The ball's played to this near side to Inler crosses, and it came off Alonso, and it's behind for a corner. They have carried actually more of a threat, the Swiss, in this second half.
Well, I think because Barcelona have gone 4-4-2 in a way.
Barcelona?
Oh, keep saying Barcelona. Saying Barcelona. There's that many Barcelona players out there. Sorry, Spain. They've gone 4-4-2 and they're leaving so many gaps at the back, and that's why the Swiss look dangerous now.
I think it's an age thing, Chris, don't worry. Happens to me as well. Here's Inler. Inler plays the ball in. Here's Barnetta who shoots, and it's blocked on the penalty spot really by Piqué, and now Spain might turn defence into attack. It's Torres who has a poor first touch, a heavy touch, takes it straight to the defender. It was cleared by Lichtsteiner. He's unlucky actually, because he actually played that off the Spanish player, and the referee and linesman didn't see it, so Spain have got the throw in. But that I think is Torres not 100%.
He's not 100%. We can see that. He doesn't look sharp, doesn't look quick.
Under 7 minutes to go. Here's Navas, this little tricky winger. Edge of the penalty area, right hand side. Cross again blocked. Ziegler's actually done really well against him since he came on. But he has got 1 or 2 crosses in, and they'll keep trying to find him. This time it's Ramos who crosses from the same area, and the ball's just hacked clear by Grichting up towards the halfway line, and Nkufo fouls there, and it's a free kick to the Spanish.
Well, Spain, another set piece, but you've got to say Switzerland have dealt with them very, very well. The 2 centre-halves have been excellent. They've won every ball.
Earlier today, Honduras 0, Chile 1. Here comes the Spanish free kick. Alonso, poor free kick though, easily cleared by Von Bergen, and then helped a little further on its way by one of his midfield colleagues. Ball swung back in towards the edge of the penalty area, about 10 yards outside. Piqué can only head it up into the air, and now on this near side, Barnetta will come forward for the Swiss. He's dispossessed though by a good tackle from Piqué, and Capdevila gives the ball to Xabi in the midfield. Again, there's a little bit of space out on the far side for Navas. Pedro comes short, floats across in towards Villa, and there's Torres, and Torres can't reach it. Felt it, he might have been balked off the ball there, but the referee was watching closely, as were his assistants, nothing doing, and there's a handball now on the far side against Yakin. And we've just seen a replay, and that was absolutely the right decision from Howard Webb. And Spain now have exactly 5 minutes to rescue what is starting to look like a lost cause. Spain 0, Switzerland 1. Gelson Fernandes the scorer, 7 minutes into the second half. And what have Spain got left in the locker? What have they got left in their tank? Well, we will see as Capdevila finds Alonso. Xabi is fouled. Good advantage played by Howard Webb. Piqué plays the ball out to the far side. This is Navas once more. Better looking cross. In fact, in the end, he drills it straight at the goalkeeper, Ben Alio, and he won't rush too much.
Well, Spain have just run out of ideas. Navas has had a tremendous lot of ball since he came on. Some of his wing plays nice on the eye, but again, where Spain have let themselves down to me is final ball in the final third. They've had no cutting edge today.
And Kufo is blown up there for a foul. I'm not sure about that, in all honesty. Capdevila went down very easily. I thought Nkufo was just a strong challenge and nothing more from the man who was born in Kinshasa in, well, what was Zaire, now the Democratic Republic of Congo. But he's played for Switzerland for a few years now, was Nkufo. Ramos has it. There was a foul. Referee again allows the play to continue. Linesman's flag, but Howard Webb says play on. This is Torres on the edge of the penalty area. Tries to let fly. The Swiss half clear. Only as far as Alonso. Alonso squares it to Xabi. Xabi again looks to the wingman, the right wingman. This is Navas. Right hand edge of the penalty area. Crosses in. Villa can't reach it. And really good clearance on the edge of the penalty area. Rather dived into that, I think, Lichtsteiner, but the referee says play on. Still Spain come forward. It's Pedro, tries to bustle his way into the penalty area, and once more Von Bergen it is who clears for the Swiss, but straight back to the Spanish, who trail here by a goal to nil with 3.5 to go. Xabi, he's got Puyol alongside him. He plays it forward though to Pedro, who's dropped very, very deep. Again the ball goes out to the right hand side, and here's an opportunity for Torres on the volley, and that is 20 or 30 yards over the crossbar.
Yeah, again goes down to Navas on the right. Spain always using that right hand side, second off. Torres is not sharp, he's not fit enough. You know, he probably didn't want to put him on today, but he's chasing his goal.
Yeah, his last Liverpool game was in mid-April. He then had a knee operation. The man who scored the winner against Germany in the 2008 final. He's got a great goal scoring record, as we know, of course, from the Premier League, but definitely this is not a 100% fit Fernando Torres. And I couldn't agree more with Chris. I'm sure they didn't want to play him today, but here he is again, and once more the first touch is absolutely rotten. The cannon's off his knee really, and out to play for a goal
kick.
kick.
You feel sorry for him. We see him week in, week out. We know what he does in a Liverpool shirt. You can see he's probably playing on about 60-70%. He's not sharp, his touch is all over the place. Look at that touch, we get the benefit of the replay. Now, it's not his day, he's not ready. Could have done with probably Spain qualifying quite easy and then use him in the last 16.
I'm sure that was the plan. 2 minutes to go, plus stoppage time here in Durban. You're listening to 5 Live, and you're listening to potentially one of the shocks of this or any World Cup tournament. Spain 0, the favourite Spain 0, Switzerland 1. And Switzerland have also hit the post. Dirty up, very, very unlucky. Now Spain are coming forward again once more. It's that cross from Navas. And to this near side, Pedro can't reach it. Lichtsteiner, the right back, puts it out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in to the Spanish, which will be taken quickly by Capdevila. Now, this is Xabi in midfield, finds Puyol. Everybody now, bar Casillas, in the Swiss half. Puyol plays the ball out to the far side to Navas, cleared by Von Bergen, and out of play for another throw-in. Puyol makes himself available. Inside the centre circle, it's with Alonso. I make it just 60 seconds plus stoppage time to go now. Capdevila again on this near side. Finds Xabi, just lifts it forward to Pedro, midway inside the Swiss half. They're still keeping the ball well here, Spain. They're retaining possession well, but they've got to get a bit more cut and thrust than this. Is there another chance left in this game for them? Well, we will see. Neat 1-2, Capdevila and Xabi. Now towards the edge of the penalty area. This is Pedro, tries to play the ball. Nearly a good ball, sorry, it was Villa who tried to play it through to Capdevila. And now they go long to Switzerland, and Casillas has to come racing out of his penalty area to turn the ball back over the halfway line, and Ramos can't control it, and the Swiss have it back in the centre of midfield with Hugel, and then out to the far side. It was intended for Gelson, he couldn't keep it in. It's another Spanish throw-in, and I make it 15 seconds remain. Plus, obviously, the stoppage time, and I think we'll have 3 or 4 minutes of that. Onto this near side, left-hand side. They're attacking are the Spanish with one of their substitutes, Pedro, and if the ball's gone out of play, which the referee and linesman say it hasn't, that would have been a corner. I thought that was pretty close. There are 5 minutes of added time as the ball again is knocked long into that box, this time by Xabi. This is Navas. Navas tries to cross, it's blocked. I think that will actually hit the corner flag just about and goes behind for a corner. Chris Waddle.
Well, they've had all the game. It just final thirds let them down. That final delivery, Spain.
Well, we're into the 5 minutes of added time. We've had 30 seconds of it. Here comes the cross towards the back edge of the penalty area, and then it's volleyed. I'm not quite sure what that was intended to be from substitute Pedro, whether he was trying to find a player. I can't believe, as he just spoons that ball up into the air with his right foot, that he meant that to be a shot.
Well, he could have controlled it. He was on his own at the very far post, about 15 yards out. He could have controlled it.
Well, they don't concede many goals, the Swiss. They reached the last 16 4 years ago. First side ever to be knocked out of a World Cup without conceding a goal. They beat Togo 2-0. 0-0 draws against South Korea and France. 0-0 against the Ukraine. But they lost that on a penalty shootout at the first knockout stage. There's a little bit of time wasting. I think one of the Swiss players there has just been booked. And although we're into the second minute of added time, I think that we might get to about 6 or 7 minutes in the end, because here's another substitution as well. It will be the number 7, Tranquillo Barnetta, who is coming off for the Swiss. The man who plays his club football in Germany for Leverkusen. He's been there for 6 years or so. And it's the number 22, a defender, Mario Eggermann. He plays in Germany as well for Hannover 96. He missed out on the Euros a couple of years ago. And Eggermann is on, and it's an extra defender, and there's an offside flag there against Nkufo. There'll be a free kick for the Spanish. 3 minutes of added time remain. Chris Waddle.
Well, I keep saying it's just one of them days for Spain. Unfortunately, they've dominated the game completely, but they've been punished.
Spain 0, Switzerland 1. What a scoreline and what a story. Might change now though, because they're coming down the left flank. It was a decent looking cross from Pedro, but it was cleared well by the Swiss defence, and Spain have a throw-in which Capdevila will take on this near side. In fact, Howard Webb says it's a free kick.
Yakin pushed him in the back, Capdevila.
Well, that was absolutely unnecessary, and he's just put some needless pressure on his own defence. Here comes Xabi again. Ball whipped in. The goalkeeper, who's played very well, comes out and punches. A reasonable punch out to the far side, and in fact out for a throw-in. So perhaps better than reasonable. In fact, he was fouled.
He's given a free kick. Great challenge. Great punch by the goalkeeper.
He's played well, hasn't he?
Come through all the bodies. It was a great delivery by Xavi. A lot of pace on it. Very brave goalkeeping. It's actually his own player who pushed it.
Well, Benalio actually, he plays again in Germany for Wolfsburg. He helped them to the title the season before last, but he's missed most of this season through injury. He's only been back for 2 or 3 months, but he has played very, very well, looked competent and looked reliable. In honesty though, he hasn't made that many spectacular saves because Spain haven't really had their shooting boots on. I make it we're in the last 2 minutes of stoppage time, but I think there'll be added time in stoppage time, if you know what I mean, as Spain, trailing here by a goal to nil, again get the ball out to the far side and to Navas. A good clearance though from the substitute Eggermann. Back to Navas. Navas crosses. Back edge of the 6-yard box. Almost fell for Torres. Really good defending though from the fullback Lichtsteiner. And now Capdevila tries to cross. And there's a free kick for a handball. Yakin is going to get a yellow card for that. I think he'll feel he was a little bit unlucky. He put his arm up and he put his leg up as he tried to block. It hit his arm. I think the free kick was the right award. I'm not sure that's a booking.
No, that's a terrible decision by Howard Webb. He's just, as you say, he turned his back. He wasn't even looking at the ball.
No.
He tried to block it. It's in his hand.
So free kick for the Spanish. The decision was actually a right one, the free kick decision. And everybody, it is like a line out at the moment in rugby union. You've basically got 2 lines of players as Alonso whips it in and it takes an unkind bounce for the Swiss. The ball is turned back into the penalty area but too far, and it's a chase out on the far side for the substitute Navas. Now Puyol plays that ball back to Jesus Navas. I make it under 30 seconds to go. The ball's headed up into the air by Egeman, the Swiss defender. Are we on the verge of a major story here at World Cup 2010? Alonso clips the ball down the line. Navas is quick, very quick in fact, and keeps the ball in play, and then he crosses, comes off the back of a Swiss defender, Ziegler it is, and behind for a corner. Only just went out of play, but the linesman was jolly on the spot, and he says that has gone out, and we've had 50 minutes now in this second half. Casillas asks Del Bosque whether he can go up and join the attack. He's in the centre circle. He's told to go no further. All the vuvuzelas being blown now as a volley comes in from the edge of the box. Xabi way over the crossbar. It will be a goal kick, and that is probably, Chris, just about it.
Well, it's just not Spain's day, got to say. I think they've moved the ball well, cutting edge in the final third, yes, but they'll come again. It's just not meant to be today.
Well, they've got those games coming up then against Honduras and Chile. If they're going to go through, they'll have to do it the hard way, because Howard Webb has blown the whistle. And what a story we have in the Moses Mahiba Stadium here in Durban, because the favourites and the European champions Spain have been beaten by Switzerland by 1-0. Gelson Fernandes the scorer. It was a scruffy goal, but they all count, and the Swiss delight is absolutely apparent down there as they all race onto the field. Spain 0, Switzerland 1. What about that, Chris Waddle?
Well, you've got to say, shock of the tournament already. I think Spain will come back. I still think they'll qualify. They've played good enough football for me to say they will get results. They've got a problem obviously up front. Today they just didn't have enough movement. They didn't have a lot of quality in the final third, and it's cost them. Give Switzerland credit. They've come with the game plan, they defended, they played counter-attacking, and they got a reward, and they've held on. But Spain will come again, there's no doubt about that.
Final score, a real shock, a coupon buster. Spain 0, Switzerland 1.